Hello everyone, JH Medium here. Today we're in a part of the world I've been really excited to come to. We are in the Baltics region. This has been on top of my travel list for a very long time, and our first stop is the capital of Latvia, Riga. For the next 48 hours, we're gonna explore the biggest city in Latvia and the Baltics region, try some surprisingly delicious Latvian food, and learn about a place I pretty much know nothing about. Spoiler alert, I think Riga is one of the most underrated cities in Europe. Our first stop in Riga has got to be the House of the Blackheads. When we came here around 30 minutes ago, it was pouring with rain. It has since slightly cleared a bit. Back in the day, this building was essentially a celebration party house for the unmarried merchants, known as the Brotherhood of the Blackheads. But of course, throughout the years, it has been destroyed and reconstructed many times. So this building we see right here is the ones reconstructed in 1999. As the Blackheads were a party house, the story goes that one day during Christmas, they put a tree here and started decorating it. So the Latvians believe that this is the location of the very first decorated Christmas tree. Just after walking around for 1 hour or so, I already loved this old town. But as it got darker, it turns out this part of the old town is not lit up every night, which is very strange. So let's call it a day and come back tomorrow. Day 2 in Riga, and our first stop today, we're gonna go to that giant structure behind me. If you don't already know what that is, take a guess. I mean, it looks sort of like a train station or maybe even an airplane hangar, but no, it's actually the biggest market in Europe, Riga Central Market. We were a bit hungry, so before we explored the market, we went to the food court section and we got some snacks. We got a soup, a mushroom soup inside an edible cup. Looks pretty interesting.
他说里面还有放 truffle.
Usually it's lying. And then we also got some Russian dumplings. There's beef and pork fillings inside. Rika can try the soup first. The soup itself is pretty good. The truffle flavor is not strong at all. They're probably lying. The problem with this is that there's a brown bottom, so you can't really put it down on the table. We have to hold it the entire time. And now we're gonna try and eat some of the cup. It sort of just tastes like a pancake, but in the shape of a cup. So this concept is more of a gimmick for sure, but it's not bad. It's still pretty delicious. Now we're gonna try the Russian dumpling, the pelmeni. I'm gonna try it without the sauce first. To be honest, it's very similar to the Chinese dumplings we're used to. A bit smaller, but the biggest difference is that in Chinese dumplings, you almost never use beef. And it looks like the filling is purely meat. There are no vegetables inside at all. Now we're gonna try one with the dipping sauce. I think it's a sour cream sauce.
With sauce or without the sauce?
Oh, the cream, the sauce makes the whole dish so much better. And of course, once you add the sour cream to it, it no longer tastes like an Asian dumpling.
一口一个，感觉这里的饺子可以当零食吃。
Snack time over, let's go explore the rest of this market. Once we walk into this market, it actually doesn't feel that big since all the pathways are really wide and there doesn't seem to be that many stalls either. Like the ones beside me, there are just a lot of stalls that are not open. Here at the fish section, the smell is very strong. But ignoring the smell, the best thing about this market is that it's super clean. Everything is nice and tidy, more organized than a regular grocery store. I'm very surprised how empty this market is. Even though it's large in scale, there's barely anyone here. Maybe because we came at the wrong time? I don't know. To be honest though, there's not much for us at the market. So it's time to head to our next destination. Another interesting place to visit in Riga is the National Library of Latvia. It looks completely different from any building in this area. On the outside, it kind of looks like an iceberg. So actually, the design of this building is a glass mountain, which is from a Latvian tale. Anyways, let's go inside and check it out. The library is free to enter, but you must store everything inside a locker. At the top floor of this library, you can have a panoramic view of Riga. Unfortunately though, there are these black dots on the glass, so you can't really take any photos or videos. I guess with a high aperture lens, you can sort of see through it, but it's not ideal. Either way, it's still a great place to enjoy the view. Over there in the distance, you can see the central market that we just visited. Other than just walking around, there are also many small exhibits to check out in the library, such as these Latvian currency before they switched to euro. I also really like this centerpiece book display thing. I don't think you can actually go inside and read the books, but it's quite a stunning piece of artwork. Also facing the library is this very interesting statue. I have no idea who it is or what it means. If there are any Latvians watching this video, I would love to know. The river really is the soul of the city. Here on the south side of the river, you have a perfect view of the Riga Old Town, especially during sunset right now. From here, we walk the stone bridge back to the Old Town. It's quite strange seeing a European Old Town so empty on a weekend. Yes, we're here in the end of winter, so it's off-peak season, but it's still surprising. Though I'm not complaining, fewer tourists, always nicer for us to explore. Okay, it's finally dinner time, and tonight we're gonna have some Latvian food. To be honest, other than the stuff we tried at the Central Market today, I have no idea what you're supposed to eat here in Latvia. So let's go find out. There's no one here at the door. There are some stairs here, so it seems like this restaurant is underground. Let's go check it out. For dinner today, we're underground in a restaurant that looks like it's in a cellar, and everyone is holding a beer, so I guess I have to try some Latvian beer as well. Cheers. Wow. I'm not a big beer drinker. I pretty much know nothing about beer, but that goes down really smoothly. The atmosphere of this place is just incredible. Everything is really dimly lit in this mood lighting. I guess we just come here for the atmosphere, right? We have a candle in front of me. I'm not sure if you'll even be able to see the food when it arrives. The food is finally here and it looks incredible. I'm gonna turn on the flashlight for the close-up clip so you can actually see the food. I got a Dunagas Royal Stroganoff with 3 types of meat inside. It's probably chicken, pork, and beef. Rika got the traditional Latvian meatball served with sauerkraut and fries. That is delicious. I usually don't really like sauerkraut that much, but it goes perfectly with the meatball. The meatballs themselves are crisp on the outside and juicy in the middle. Meat lovers will definitely love this dish. Now time to try my stroganoff. I'm gonna try a bite with all 3 types of meat. The meat is so tender, but I think the sauce between the 2 dishes is quite similar. They're both this creamy tomato sauce. This dish is definitely not like the typical stroganoff I'm used to having. It reminds me more of a tomato braised meat, but it's really delicious.
很推荐在一个寒冷的冬春交界之际，来一家地下的小餐厅、小酒馆，尝试一下大口吃肉、大口喝酒的生活。
Finished. Honestly, Latvian food really surprised me. I think compared to other European food around this area, there's a lot of vegetables in it. The sauce is not too heavy and dense. So yeah, highly recommend it. It's in the Riga Old Town. The prices are probably a little bit higher than Latvian standards because it's in the tourist area. We come to this type of restaurant completely for the atmosphere, but the food is super delicious. Today we're going to do a walking tour of the city. I mean, we probably should have done this on our first day here, but it was raining all morning, so we would have been walking with umbrellas. The weather is slightly better today, so let's go on this tour. The walking tour lasted around 2 hours. Our guide Christine was great. Here are some of the most interesting things I learned on this tour, starting with the story of the Latvian flag, not to be confused with the Austrian flag.
It looks quite similar, but the white stripe is narrower and the red we call maroon red or Bordeaux red. But the legend is the same. It's blood, of course, yes? And our legend says a knight was hit on the side, he was wrapped into a white blanket, and when they unwrapped him, he left 2 blood stripes. And the outcome was the flag.
Behind me are the 3 brothers. They are buildings built during 3 different time periods of Latvia. and they perfectly represent the evolution of the houses throughout the time. The oldest brother is from the 15th century and the youngest from the 17th century. Interestingly, you can see that the houses get thinner and thinner because of a facade tax that was introduced. This also meant that people just kept on building deeper into the street because only the part facing the street was taxed. Next, we made it over to the old city wall. Originally, the wall was built in the medieval times to protect the city, but after the Swedish built stronger fortifications, the wall became useless. So people actually used the wall as a starting point to build more houses. That's why these buildings here are connected to the wall. And here's the famous Swedish gate built into the old city wall. It's the only original city gate left remaining. Now we are at another iconic building in Riga, the Black Cat building. Legend says that the person who built this building originally built it because he was rejected from the Great Guilds, which is right across the street, that he wanted to be a part of.
There are two cats, by the way, but he didn't place the cats as we see them nowadays. He placed it with that part heading to the Great Guilds. And I see already in your faces you understand the meaning. And that is the reason why the black cat is in all the souvenir shops.
The other famous animals of Riga are these four. They're actually the musicians of Bremen, given to Riga by their sister city, Bremen, Germany.
这个故事呢，其实它是来自于格林童话的。格林童话对于德国人来说，它也不仅是童话，它也是有一定的教育意义和影射现实的一个作用的。
That's why many believe the animals here are actually looking out of the Iron Curtain. Apparently, if you rub the donkey's nose, you will get 25% luck. If you reach the chicken on top, you will get 100% of luck. See if I can reach 100% of the luck. Nope. We just finished the walking tour and it was super insightful. Obviously in this video I can't really cover everything discussed through the tour, but if you have a chance to visit Riga, I highly recommend going on one of these tours. Right now we're beneath the Freedom Monument. This monument is to honor the soldiers who died during the Latvian War of Independence after World War I. It's quite surprising that this monument was not taken down during the Soviet occupation. One story goes that the Soviet Union claimed it symbolizes Mother Russia holding up the three Baltic states. But whatever the reason is, it's great that the Freedom Monument survived and is standing here today overlooking Riga Old Town. For lunch today, our tour guide recommended this cafeteria restaurant behind us. She said it's a place that Latvians and tourists both really love. So let's go try our Latvian cafeteria food. So at this cafeteria, I got some beef with wine sauce served with mashed potatoes, and Rika got the pork ribs with mashed potatoes. But more importantly, we're here to try two other Latvian dishes. This one I'm most excited for. It's called a bread soup. It's not actually a soup, it's more like a bread dessert pudding type of thing. And this right here is the actual soup, the hot and sour soup. Let's dig in. I'm gonna cut into this beef. The patty itself kind of just tastes like a burger meat, but the sauce makes all the difference, makes this whole dish really creamy. And of course, we gotta have the mashed potato. So silky, so smooth. Latvians are so good at making potato dishes. And now to try the ribs that Rika ordered. I've never seen ribs served with mashed potatoes before, but I guess in Latvia you have to eat potatoes with everything. The ribs, just like a lot of Latvian food, definitely have a German influence. It's super tender, almost falls off the bone. Now it's time to try the two side dishes we ordered. I don't know what this is. It's pink, so it's either red cabbage or beets. Let's try this mystery dish. I think it's beets with some sort of salad dressing. If you know exactly what this is, please tell me in the comments down below. But it's quite tasty. This is solanka, the hot and sour soup. There's some meat, some onions.
番茄汤的感觉，这个汤应该是有一点受俄罗斯饮食的影响吧，也是在东欧比较常见的一种汤。
For the most exciting part of the meal, for dessert, we're gonna have the maize zupa, the bread soup. No, it's not a soup, it's more like a pudding. The cinnamon taste is really strong. It seems like there's some different dried fruits inside, maybe some apples, some raisins. Great little dessert. Again, another great meal. I mean, before coming here, I don't even know what we're supposed to eat in Latvia. Obviously, Latvian food has influences from its neighboring countries as well as Germany. All of the dishes we tried here were super delicious. Look at these 3 black cats here. They're wearing hats and scarves of the 3 Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. We are now here in the Art Nouveau area of Riga. These buildings here on Alberta Street are so stunning. Obviously, it's in a completely different style from the Riga Old Town. The Art Nouveau movement grew momentum in Riga during the early 1900s. There is a huge concentration of Art Nouveau style architecture just outside of the Old Town. I wonder why all these faces here have their mouths open like that. Other than Latvians, over 30% of Riga is actually Russian, but apparently the Russians and Latvians don't have too much interaction between each other. They're just 2 ethnic groups living in relative harmony. Before I came to this country, I was kind of nervous because this is probably the most foreign country that I've ever been to. I knew absolutely nothing about Latvia and this city. But after I come here, I'd say Riga completely surprised me. For our final activity in Riga tonight, we hopped on one of the old trams and rode it around the city with no destination in mind. Sitting inside one of these Soviet-era trams really feels like riding a time machine. From its complex history, brilliant architecture, laid-back atmosphere, to its multicultural cuisine, Riga really is one of the most underrated cities I visited. I don't see any reason why Riga cannot be as popular as some Western European destinations. I really hope more people will visit and explore this gem of a city. Maybe in the near future, Riga, Latvia will be a name on everyone's travel list.